Audible Inc. presents Bribery and Corruption Casebook, The View from Under the Table. Edited by Joseph T. Wells and Laura Himes. Narrated by Paul Boehmer and Abby Craden.
Preface. Corruption is not a new development for humankind. As long as there have been recorded accounts of human history, there have been stories of deceptive self-dealing and betrayal for personal gain. We need to look no further than the Roman Empire for countless examples of corruption, bribery, political dishonesty, and discarded alliances. The civilization that helped establish a blueprint for modern democratic governments also created a model for just about every corruption scheme imaginable. Take the account of Emperor Nero's rise to power as an example. He gained the title of emperor amid rumors that his mother, Agrippina, poisoned her own husband and Nero's stepfather, then Emperor Claudius, so her son could ascend to the throne. Nero was still a teenager at the time, and Agrippina believed she would be able to direct the course of the empire by manipulating her son. However, when Nero began asserting his own power and eschewing his mother's influence, Agrippina turned her hopes to her stepson, Britannicus. As the birth son of Claudius, although he was younger than Nero, Britannicus could challenge Nero for the throne, a threat the emperor took seriously. As the story goes, Nero first poisoned the 15-year-old Britannicus to assert himself as Rome's rightful leader, and then arranged for his mother to be killed. After these shocking crimes, he embarked on a spree of executions to eliminate Senate members he did not trust, and anyone else he considered a political threat. And there we have the framework for a leader to corruptly consolidate and establish his power. Modern corruption has become slightly more subtle and, luckily, we see fewer outright assassinations these days. But that comfort does nothing to reduce the damage that this fraud still causes. Black's Law Dictionary defines corruption as depravity, perversion, or taint, an impairment of integrity, virtue, or moral principle, especially the impairment of a public official's duties by bribery. Corruption can include conflicts of interest, bribery, economic extortion, and illegal gratuities. It is everywhere, an insidious communicative disease that plagues private industry, public service, and the political process. It destroys trust, bottom lines, careers, and even lives. As the cases in this collection demonstrate, no one is immune to corruption. Try as we might to implement controls and procedures to prevent ourselves and our employers or businesses from becoming victims, cunning criminals make it their goal to circumvent our hurdles in pursuit of their own self-interest. Most people have heard of Rod Blagojevich. You might think of President Barack Obama when you hear his name, or you might simply picture that trademark Blago hair. Either way, in the past few years he has become a poster boy for corruption. In 2008, when then-Senator Obama was elected to the presidency, he left a vacant U.S. Senate seat up for grabs in Illinois. As governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich had the authority to appoint someone to fill the vacant Senate seat, but he abused his gubernatorial power and solicited bribes and other favors from parties who had an interest in the seat. As part of the investigation into Blagojevich's suspected corruption, the FBI wiretapped his phone. Perhaps the most infamous soundbite to come from those recordings was one where he described his position as effing golden and said he wouldn't give the appointment away for effing nothing. The recorded evidence turned out to be the most damning against Blagojevich, and he was eventually found guilty of 17 out of 20 criminal charges, including bribery and attempted extortion. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Corruption is not confined to the political circus. Public and private companies often suffer losses, both financial and reputational, from the corrupt actions of owners, executives, and staff members. The primary anti-corruption legislation in the United States
Sample complete. Ready to continue?